Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting Sarah Clark. She is a healthcare consultant who helps independent medical practices transform chaos into calm through her 4 Ps to success: framework, people, patients, paperwork, and process. With over 2 decades of experience as a fractional practice administrator and sought after speaker, Sarah improves patient care, boosts staff morale, and drives profitability with a steady, compassionate approach. How are you doing today, Sarah?
I'm great, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
No, I'm excited to have you back. I know we chatted the other day, and I think a lot of people out there would benefit from hearing from you, so I was excited to have you on. So, starting off, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I am in Huntersville, North Carolina, which just is a suburb of Charlotte. Just, you could throw a stone to the city line.
I gotcha. Are you a lifer? You been there forever? Are you more recent to the area?
I have been here for a little over 20 years. I'm a native of New England, Massachusetts area, just south of Boston. So I'm um, I hate to say it out loud because people get mad, but I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Red Sox fan, root for my Boston sports, but I've been here for about 20-ish years.
Okay, awesome. So, if somebody's never been to the area, where do you take them first? What do you do for fun out there?
We have in just on the outskirts of Charlotte, we have the U.S. National Whitewater Center, which is a really, really cool place to be and see. It's actually where the athletes for kayaking and canoeing and whitewater sports train. In addition to that, that's open to the public as well. So you can do whitewater rafting. It pulls in from one of the local rivers, and there's zip line courses and adventure courses and hiking and mountain bike trails. There's a very new dog park that's out there, multiple acres fenced in that has its own little beach. So that's kind of a unique little place. They'll do some concerts in the summertime. They have ice skating in the wintertime. So they do a lot of stuff year round. That's something that's kind of unique to the area. The most popular, which I don't take anybody to, but the most popular tourist attraction in the state, and it varies each year between one and two, is Concord Mills outlet shopping. So a lot of people from out of state are like, "Oh, I want to go there," but it's an outlet shopping mall. But it does have a really, really big outdoor center. So I think a lot of people for hunting and fishing and boating and such kind of like to do that. But we also have a significant number of breweries. A lot of people think North Carolina, Asheville has all of the breweries. We have a significant number in and around the Charlotte area, and there's several areas where you could walk to three, four, five, six different breweries. So if you're into beer or brewing and that sort of scene, we have that in Charlotte.
Awesome. It sounds like you guys got a little bit of everything. Whitewater rafting, breweries, shopping, probably pick an order, maybe, maybe. But that all sounds
Right.
awesome.
If you're going shopping, you want to start with the brewery, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you want a whitewater raft before the brewery too. So
Yes, for sure.
make sure
Yeah,
you
a
get
little
that
bit
order
safer.
right. So awesome, awesome. Well, what can you tell us about what you do?
So what I do is work with private medical offices, not large hospital systems. They've got the resources behind the scenes. But what I do with them is help them stay competitive in the marketplace. If you've got a one, two, sometimes even a three doctor practice, the doctors are the owners of it and they're also the managers of that office. And through no fault of their own, but they went to school to be a physician, right? They are a doctor and they're really, really good at what they do. And being a doctor full time and seeing your patient loads and making sure that your patients are taken care of, and then also trying to be a manager of staff full time, it doesn't always fit nicely. Or what I call pajama time. It makes the physicians have a lot of pajama time when they should be in their pajamas enjoying time at home, relaxing. They're in their pajamas doing extra work, finishing their notes or employee reviews or time cards, all these kinds of things, or reviewing their metrics if they even know what they should be looking at. So what I do is to help them be able to be the doctor, I come in generally in a fractional role because they usually don't need somebody full time, but they might need somebody, maybe 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week to review their metrics or hold a staff meeting, talk to the employees, get a patient survey, things to move their practice forward that they don't necessarily have the skill. Um, they have the intelligence to do it, but they don't really have the skill or the time to do it and still actually be a functioning human being outside of the office. So I come in to help that, and I make sure that their metrics are run to make sure that they understand how their business is doing financially. I'm not helping them with financial planning, a little bit of strategy, but not when it comes to like, where do I invest my money? I do have some colleagues that I would refer those sorts of things out to, but I'm going to make sure that the amount that their insurance contract with, say, because it's a big payer in North Carolina, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that their contract amount, that they're actually getting paid the correct amount, right? So there's some reports we can run to make sure that they're getting paid the right amount. And if they're not getting paid the right amount, find out what's happening in there. So the doctor is aware, but the doctor doesn't have to spend their time trying to research it, or the person that sits at the front desk and greets the patient doesn't have the time to do that either. I help do some education for the teams to make sure that they're staying up to date with the latest technology for what they're using in the office, their electronic health record system. Are they still faxing everything, or are they able to what's called integrate that into their interoperability? So can system A talk to system B that's outside of their own facility? They get some certain points for that through Medicare, but making things more efficient so that the staff can take ownership of that schedule and be able to really spend the time with the patients that are there. Because nowadays in medicine, providing a really good patient experience is really, really important. And that keeps the patients coming back. They really have a choice, right? You have a choice which airline you want to fly on. You have a choice which restaurant you want to go to. And most insurances now, you have a choice which doctor you want to go to. And even if the doctor is really good, if the staff is not really good, the view of the doctor is not really good. So, I'll tell my clients, you're like, a good staff equals a good doctor. A great staff equals a great doctor. Even the doctor can almost be not the best doctor, but if the experience all around for the patient, starting at that initial phone call or walk in the office is really good, then the experience that what they have with the doctor is going to be significantly better. And vice versa. If it's not that great, you could be the best doctor in the world, and if their experience isn't good, then it doesn't matter for the doctor. So helping them have a good experience, help them stay relevant with the technology that's out there, and stay competitive with the bigger groups in the market, regardless of specialty, right? It's the same. There's a lot of private equity buyout that's coming out in different specialties, but if they really want to stay independent, they've got to move with the times, and I help them do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's super important. I mean, if you're a really good doctor, you want the rest of it to be as good as you are in your area, but trying to devote all that time and take it away from the part that, is your bread and butter. You're meeting patients, you're giving good care, and then trying to do the rest kind of, you can't really do both. It's important to have somebody that's going to come and handle that. So that's awesome. That's fantastic. So how'd you get started? How did this come about? Where were you and what made you jump into this?
Yeah, well, I actually on Christmas Eve, so not quite a week ago, just celebrated my 5-year anniversary of being in business for myself. I was in a C-suite position prior to that in an operations role, and I left that role after multiple years. Um, I just needed to go in a different direction. And my intention was take some time off during the holidays and find something after the holidays that would work for me. And I received several calls from some offices that said, "Hey, we've got this little thing that we need to get done. Can you help us with that?" And I knew several doctors, so somebody else called me, somebody else called me. So I said the universe was coming to me to do this. So I jumped into it. But my background is I actually have a clinical background as well. I'm a certified athletic trainer and I have a master's degree in kinesiology and biomechanics. So my background is in sports medicine and working with patients and getting them better back to sport, back to work, whatever their goals may be. As a result of that, I also had some administrative background in athletic training. You end up having to do sort of a little bit of both. I went to work for a physician and started out in that role, and it turned out I was pretty good with it. I'm decent with technology. I'm comfortable on the computer. I have learned a lot about working with people for sure. It used to be like, I'm the boss and you respect me no matter what. And that is not something that flies anymore in today's culture, and probably didn't really fly before, but we tolerated it. And it turned out I was pretty good at it, and then I enjoyed it, and I really enjoy the educating and seeing them grow from like maybe struggling or being confused and not really knowing what to do, to seeing those increments go up and really seeing them improve. And it's nice for me to see, but it's really beneficial for the practices.
Gotcha. What would you say? So you've been in business 5 years, so congratulations. That's awesome. That's a
Thank
that's
you.
a, that's a heck of an achievement. But what would you say your favorite thing is that you've been doing over the last 5 years?
I really enjoy doing the education part of it and working with those teams hands-on in their practices and seeing those aha moments when something just clicks and then their life just got easier at work, right? So really helping them understand the why, not just the how.
Hmm. I gotcha. So yeah, I like that. What are some of the hard learned lessons over the last 5 years that maybe you faced that other entrepreneurs starting off or trying to get to that 5 year mark would he do well to listen to your advice on? What are some things that you'd warn them to look out for?
Yeah, there's there's probably a bunch of pitfalls. One that probably stands out the most is just what I also tell my clients. You have to tell yourself that as an entrepreneur or being in business for yourself is you don't have to do everything by yourself, right? I have a virtual assistant. She helps me prospect for my speaking opportunities, and she also helps me design my slide decks so that I don't go down a rabbit hole of trying to make everything perfect. She has a little bit of distance between it, right? And she's fantastic, right? So when I was able to elevate some stuff off of my desk that she could help me do so it would get done consistently. So knowing that you don't have to do everything by yourself, and you probably shouldn't do everything on your own. Continue to learn something new that you are interested in that will help your business, and understand who your target client is. If you don't understand who your target client is, you will not attract the client that you want. And then what will happen is you will continuously get clients that you don't want. That takes away the joy of why you started your business in the first place. Like I have several doctors, right? So if the doctor doesn't want to do surgery, or excuse me, doesn't only wants to do surgery and doesn't want to see non-surgical patients because that's where they have their training and that's what they do, but they keep getting referrals from other people for non-surgical stuff. The doctor is not as happy, they don't like it. But sometimes when you review their website or review what they're putting out there, they're not putting out what they want to come back. So people think that the patients don't know, and he's not going to turn that patient away. But if you don't know who your target client is, your ideal client, then you really need to sit down and find out who you want, why you want it, because it will make your job more enjoyable. If you keep taking on doing stuff you don't like, you won't like your job anymore.
Okay. So how about you? What does your average client look like, your target client?
So my client is usually five physicians or under. I have a little niche in podiatry. So I see a lot of podiatry clients. Simple reason being is that's where I had worked in the C-suite position was in that. So I have several of those clients, but I have several other clients, but it's usually 5 physicians or under that they want to make a change, and whether that change is to grow or to become more relevant, to move from paper to electronic as much as they can. They know that they want to make a change and they are committed to making that change and understanding that we're not going to do everything at once. We're going to do a little bit at a time. And that expertise comes with a cost, right? It is a cost that comes out of their business, but to me, I become a valued member of their team and an advisor. I don't want to just sit out here and demand this is what we do. I usually take a consultative approach. So 5 physicians are under, and when I say physicians, I'm also referring to all the specialties, and whether it's a dentist, whether it's a physical therapy office and they're a doctor of physical therapy, chiropractor, those sorts of things. But really those private practices. I do work with some larger organizations when they need a speaker or somebody to come and train on something where they know that they don't want their employees to always hear from the same person because they think they just become tone deaf. So I go in to do some speaking opportunities. I have one coming up here in 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks, which is for a large organization where they have an assistance program. So we'll have 50 or 80 people that will be there, and we'll have a full day program of learning different things, cybersecurity, risk analysis, strategic planning of what, like what an office manager can do, the right type of documentation that they should be marking down. So larger organizations for some of those bigger presentations, but then really clients are 5 physicians or under. I can do a little bit bigger than that, but it depends on how many owners there are, and sometimes it becomes a little squirrely if they're not all on the same page to start with.
Okay. How about power partners? Who do you tend to synergize well with?
So some of the people that I work with are in that space are like durable medical equipment providers, but also other practice managers. I work with some people that do contracting with insurance companies, and other like electronic health record systems. But outside of that, um, financial planners are a good place because they generally have physicians as clients who want to make more money and sometimes struggle running their business side of that. So financial people are good in that space, sort of, or insurance professionals as well, because they may offer employee benefits. They may also offer, life or disability or those sorts of things where those providers may need something. And also attorneys, because the providers generally need to have an attorney just in case, right? But they are a business owner, so just in case they may need something. But lots of times we'll need somebody to review contracts that come from the insurance payers, or employment contracts if they hire an associate on there. So those are usually some of the professionals that sort of fit in the space together.
Okay. And this next question, I know we could probably go on for about 20, 30 minutes on it just alone, but just high level, what are the 4 Ps to success for transforming medical practice and boosting profitability?
Yeah, so the 4 Ps are people, which are the people in your office, your staff, your team members; patients, of course, right? The patients are the people that are the reason that medical practices are in business; paperwork, which which is really all the other stuff, right? Whether it is actually physical paper or their electronic health record system, but the stuff that needs to get done. And then the processes, because if you don't have any processes, all those other things kind of just become jumbly, and you don't get the best out of all of them. So that's the 4 Ps, and they really all just work together. So when I talk on that, I try to give some actionable strategies for providers to take back to the office with them.
Okay. How can independent practices improve patient care while also reducing chaos in their daily operations?
Yeah, I sort of joke that I help to turn chaos to calm, but it's really calmer, because if it was completely calm in a medical office, people would be really worried. Like, what if you've got toddlers running around and then it's really quiet. Like if it's too calm, something seems like it's off. Um, but improving the patient experience is really listening to the patients and taking the time in the office to say, if you always come in the back door and go into your office, come through the front door once a week or once a month at minimum and make sure there's no garbage laying around, or make sure that there's no trash in the trash can, or that the chair's not broken, or things like that. And maybe hire a secret shopper, hire a consultant like myself to come in unbeknownst and see what that experience actually is. But your patients will give back really good information. If you ask them the right questions and really do it anonymously or ask them in person, like, hey, we're trying to make improvements. What's working really well and what would you like to see better? And attend some conferences, go to some conferences and just learn what other practices are doing. Talk to other doctors in your business park and what are other people doing to make sure that you're not getting left behind the curve.
Okay. What are some simple strategies that medical practices can use to enhance their patient experiences and increase their revenue?
Super easy, super easy is meeting the patients where they're at. And right now, patients, it's like 73% of patients want an electronic, whether that's text or email, way to receive their appointment reminders and confirm that. They don't really want the phone call. And they also want that way to pay their bill. So, looking for the technologies that can be built into your current systems. They are as an expense to it, but they're not that expensive when you take into account the amount it costs to, say, send out a statement for every person that needs to pay their bill. So, really, providing those ways to the patients are happier, you get paid faster, and you're likely get more appropriate appointments and less no-show rates if they've got the ability to respond to that appointment reminder in an easy fashion.
Okay. Is there anything that I failed to ask or missed that you wanted to add?
Yeah. So one thing that I focus on also is kindness and compassion. And compassion is empathy's like other counterpart, right? Like empathy is feeling and understanding for what that patient is going through or what that staff member may be going through. But compassion is doing something that's taking the action part of it, right? So I'm sorry that you're going through this. Here's the goal and here's how we're going to take those next steps to get there. So adding an action component to that is really important. Just saying, oh, yeah, you have high blood pressure. That's too bad. And the person has a terrible diet, but like, or is overweight or doesn't exercise and all these things that play into it. So, having some empathy and understanding, but then taking it to the next step and giving that patient direction where to get and being kind while we do it. We don't know what other people are going through at the same time. You could be going through something, everyone in the office could be going through something, but really being kind, and kind doesn't mean getting walked over. You can still be stern and be kind while you're providing that care, and also be kind to yourselves and the people that make your office run.
Okay. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you or reach you?
They can reach me. I've got multiple ways that people can get in touch with me. They can go to my website, which is sarahclarkconsulting.com. And there's a contact form right on there. There's also a free little self-assessment that they could take, and they get some actionable strategies, free of, free little five question little quiz, and they get some actionable strategies. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to provide you with that. But it's Sarah Batucci Clark. That's on there. You can also find Sarah Clark Consulting on LinkedIn as well. And I have email, which is hello@sarahclarkconsulting.com as well. And I think that's all the ways.
Perfect. And I'll get all that from you, put in the description so people don't have to hunt for it. So we'll make it super easy. But if anybody would like to get a hold of Sarah, absolutely do it. Take time and actually grow your business. Stop trying to do all that stuff that you're not you're not in business to do the bit that you're good at, find help for the rest. That's super important to look at, especially when you're starting off. So absolutely reach out to Sarah, have that conversation. You're going to know more afterwards than you did going in. If you're a little bit more shy and you prefer an introduction, just ask me. I'm more than happy to make an introduction as well. Otherwise, if anybody out there would like to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll have my link tree below Sarah's information. Feel free to grab a time. I'd love to have a conversation. But other than that, Sarah, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you sharing your story and how you've been doing. And congrats again on 5 years. That's no small feat in the small business world. So that's awesome. But let's all get out there. Let's all put our nose to the grindstone and start meeting some more people. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Anthony. I guess I should say I do also have my link tree in the corner of my of my screen here too, which has multiple ways to get in touch with me as well right there. I think there might even be a Calendly link on there too. But yeah, yeah, get out there, get to the grindstone, but you don't have to go it alone, right? We don't have to go it alone. We're all in this together. Let's make a nice little community and help each other where we can.
It's absolutely best not to go alone. And yeah, couldn't make it easier for you. Go there. So, all right, Sarah, we'll talk. Bye.
Bye.